Hello everybody, it is Tom with the Little Guys. It is time for our weekly edition of the Little Guys Technology. It's not really a podcast because we have videos, so we're going to call it a live stream. I am guest hosting this week for David. Sorry we're late getting it done today, but the one thing we've learned over the years is if we want to increase business, we send David out of town. It's been busy here all day because David's out of town. So he will be back next week. He's out in a sunny, warm state, although it's pretty sunny and warm here today. Getting some education on some great stuff with the Home Theater Specialists of America, or Home Technology Specialists of America, HTSA as we call them. So he'll be back next week. He'll give us all the highlights and things that he pulls back from there. So this week we're going to talk about some things that we haven't talked about in a while and cover a few bases. And most of this isn't going to be your typical audio video type talk. In fact, we're going to kind of steer away from that because we do a lot of other things here at Little Guys other than great audio video. We do that well and we enjoy doing that, but the truth is we do quite a few other things, including commercial work. So we're going to lead off today by talking about some of that. When I say commercial work, you say, well, what does that entail? So well, we have a pretty wide variety of things that we're doing commercially these days. It can be some audio video work for commercial environments. That could be corporate boardrooms, doing audio video support in those rooms. It could be touch screens on the wall. It could be drop screens out of the ceiling. Control systems to make the boardroom work easy. And training rooms. We do a lot of training rooms. The corporate environment is big on doing training these days, and we can help you figure out the right solutions. We come across a lot of solutions that are done out there that were done trying to figure things out on your own, and sometimes it's not the best presentation, especially when you want to bring a client in and do a training with them. It may not work out so good. So we can definitely help you with that. We can employ Savant and Control4 control systems into these boardroom environments and training room environments to make it seamless. And it doesn't have to be a ton of money. Boardrooms can be done on a wide scale of budgets depending what your needs are, and we listen to those needs and we figure out what they are. So that's we have a couple of clients that we've done a lot of rooms for over the years, and we're going to work on in some upcoming episodes, maybe getting some on the scene demos of stuff that we've done over the years and some of the on location things. We're broadcasting here from our training room, which we are going to be building up over time, and it'll be an in-house demo that you can come and check out. So check back with us from time to time to see what's going on here and what state we're in. We're still working out some of the details of what we want to do because we want to make sure it's right and has all the latest things. One of the things that has really become a hot topic in the workplace, commercial type environments, is things like huddle rooms and having communications from site to site. And more offices are spreading out, or you're not even coming into an office anymore. You're working from home or from remote locations, and we still need to have times to get together face to face. We can do that too. We can find ways to have small huddle spaces. Maybe it's a small monitor and some sort of just a real lightweight AV system to go with it that also does communications via the internet, so you can have face-to-face meetings. And you know, that market for a long time was locked up by some proprietary solutions, but now the reality is today is there's a lot of solutions out there that doesn't have to cost a lot of money. We can use some hardware you may already have. That might be a computer, and we just got to pair it up with the right screen and microphone and camera. And we can also take those kinds of solutions and also incorporate those into a campus-wide type thing where maybe it's an office where you have 3 or 4 huddle spaces plus a meeting room, and you want to have the ability to join those all together or use them separately. We can help you with that too. So if you didn't think we did those kinds of things, now you know we do those kinds of things. Feel free to give us a call, and we can certainly, or send us a message. We're on Facebook, as you're watching right now. Email us, info@littleguys.com. We can get in contact with you and figure out what your needs are for those types of solutions. Another thing that we've done a few systems recently, this is becoming way more of a hot issue for a lot of places, including here. We're doing it right now. Live streaming. So live streaming is one of those solutions that you can do as simply as just using your iPhone or your Android phone or tablet, set it up on a little stand, and you can go live to the world. And that's cool, but sometimes you need to have a little more than that. And we are here to help with that. So on the basic end, you can do just a camera and a microphone and a computer, and you can be on live streaming in very little time. The upsides of that is really low cost of entry to get going with it. Pretty simple to use. The downside of that is you're kind of limited as to what kind of things you can do. Not necessarily be able to do easily multiple camera shots if that's something desired, or do pictures in pictures or windows, or make it more broadcast quality. So then we can take it to another step. We can take it to live stream systems that do incorporate multiple cameras. We've done this for municipalities. This is becoming a pretty common thing now for village halls, for example. They'll have a meeting room, and the community wants to be able to see what goes on in the meetings, but we all can't necessarily get there in time for the monthly meeting of the village board or whatever may be going on. So now we can have live stream systems that can catch all this, and we can do it with multiple cameras so you don't miss an angle while the stream is going on, because one camera probably doesn't get a whole meeting facility the way it needs to have the details. So that is one thing we can do. Another thing we can is become popular is houses of worship. Live streaming services is becoming a way to get those messages out to the world, to your community, and to it's once you're online, you're not just limited to your community. You're online across the world. So we've recently completed a couple of different house of worships where we've incorporated 2, 3, 4 cameras or more, and given them solutions that can do professional grade live casts where they could have graphics, they can have multiple camera shots at once, even cameras with joysticks so they can pan, tilt, and zoom on the fly, make it really worth their while. One of the systems we love using for that is a system called Wirecast. And Wirecast is it's a professional software, but they also have hardware to go with it. And it's some of the major networks are now using that on remote trucks and things of that nature. We can take that same software and that power, and we can deliver it into a nice package for either it might be a business, it could be a house of worship, municipality, whatever the need is for a professional live stream. We can do that. Little guys have experience and some great success stories. I was just looking at one of our clients. They had recently had some videos that had few thousand streams, and they had one from a little while back. We actually completed their initial system about 2 years ago, and they had over 21,000 views of just one of their services. So it was quite impressive how much that can get out for the time and investment it takes. It's a pretty powerful tool. So little guys can help you with that. Live stream system is not just for the big broadcast guys. It might be a way to help your small business get out there and become a big business. If you have a unique service or a unique offering, finding out a way to stream what you do is a way of reaching out people and organically reaching out to even more people who are interested in that. So it's a lot of fun. It's sort of been a new frontier. We've taken the last few years of really trying to figure out what the right solution is, because there are a ton of solutions out there for doing it. Our new setup here, and if you remember back about 2 years ago when we were doing our live stream, we used to have the 2-camera shot with David Nevy and had some graphics. That was actually a Wirecast stream. And I'm not saying we're not going to resurrect that at some point. It was just a matter of the new facility. We're trying to figure out how to incorporate that. We had a dedicated room for that studio at the old place. We wanted to try something new with this setup, something that we could be a little more lightweight, a little more portable. And that's what we've done in this one. So in this case, we have a nice camera, and we're actually using another, it's actually a small box. Steve would show it to you in the camera shop, but it's on top of the camera, so it's not going to work out. It's a little box about that big that you can literally push the button on and go live to the world. And we can take this setup anywhere we have Wi-Fi. In fact, with our phones, we can just tether to our phone if we needed to. Or hard network connection, which is always preferred, and power, and away we go. We could be live streaming. So Steve wanted to go outside today, and it's such a nice day outside, and do a broadcast from outside. But I had some pre-planned things here, so but it will enable us to take this to clients and jobs that we've done, and be able to show you what some of those results are. Maybe we'll do some in progress too, so you can see some of the systems going in. Along the commercial lines, we've talked about corporate AV with doing boardrooms, training rooms, things of that nature. We've talked about some of the live stream opportunities we can provide for you. Another thing that we can do is help you with large scale audio systems, say in like school auditoriums, gymnasiums, things of that nature. That could be audio and video actually. Projectors on the screens 200 to 300 inches is pretty common nowadays in gymnasiums. And figuring out the right sound system for that space. We're seeing a lot of mixed use space, whether it's a gymnasium that doubles as an auditorium for performances with the stage, or one of my favorites is the cafetorium. So it's like the cafeteria and auditorium all in one, so that's called the cafetorium. So those are mixed use spaces that need to have good audio video support when they do a large presentation or some kind of a play or a show or whatever may be going on, and we can do that for you as well. We come into a lot of gymnasiums that require a pretty decent sound system, but that doesn't get put in initially, and there's a gym is a it's not super complicated to figure out, but if it's not done correctly, it could be a very horrifying experience sound-wise. But we've got some good combinations that really make it useful to deliver high-quality audio with a large format picture. And projectors and screens can be, people get scared when they hear about a screen that's 300 inches. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be, a six-figure project. Don't worry. You can get screens that are fairly reasonable that are still large format. But you have to figure out the right combination. You can't put a $500 projector onto a 300-inch screen and expect a good result in a fully lit gymnasium or auditorium. So that's what we're here to help you with. We take time to engineer it right, to figure out what the right solution is and give you those options versus, and we address that by trying to figure out where the budget lies too, because sometimes the budget doesn't allow for a successful solution. We'll tell you that. We'll say, listen, for the budget that's allowed, it's not going to work out. You're not going to be happy. You might, I want to say it's a waste of money, but it's not going to be what you want the results. You're going to be unhappy with the results. Or we can say, listen, for this, we can give you a couple of levels to choose from. And we've had some great successful stories over the year. Last year we had a really good success story, and I guess we can talk about it because it's out there now. We did a video projector upgrade for the Rialto Theater in Joliet. So they do movies out there occasionally, and first of all, I suggest you go out there and support what they do, because the Friends of the Rialto is a great organization that are really just trying to keep that place going. It's an awesome place to go see any kind of a show, whether it's a comedy show or a rock show or even seeing one of the movies. It's just a beautiful, beautiful building inside and out. But we got them upgraded with an Epson laser projector last year, and the screen's 42 foot wide, so it's quite, and we're throwing it from really far away all the way up in the back of the theater. It was a bit of an engineering project to make sure we can find something that would work. But with some time and some help from our friends at Epson, we got them a great solution that blew all of our expectations clear out of the water, and it's a great place to go watch a movie. So check with them and support their efforts, and know when you watch a movie there and you can enjoy the quality that little guys help put that in as far as picking out the right gear and getting the right solution in there. So don't be afraid to come at us with whatever you have. I mean, there may be something you come at us with that we'll tell you. If we don't do it, we don't do it. But there's a lot of things that we do that you may not know we do as far as commercial, and we love the bizarre. When somebody comes at us with something that doesn't exist, we kind of thrive on that. It could be audio video systems on a railroad car. It could be, things in a mobile trailer of some sort. Command systems for instant command vehicles. We got a lot of things that we've done that are pretty cool, and we can talk to you about them. And if it's something you just don't know where to go, hey, check with us, because we may be able to. We've got really good people on staff here that can figure some things out. Some good technologists in the back that can help you figure out that. So, commercial, please come see us. We can help you. If you want us to come out and see what your facilities are, if you have something you're not happy with, definitely come and talk to us about it. Now, a request we had today was to talk about cameras. And I'm not talking about cameras for live stream, but cameras for around the house. It's no question that some of the camera systems in the market listen, cameras for surveillance have been around for a long time. This is nothing new. There's no new technology here. What's new is the adoption rate of having cameras around your house or business. That is become just way bigger, and that's because of products like Nest and Ring and all of those types of solutions that have cameras that are fairly easy to deploy and have pretty convenient apps to watch on your phone or your tablet. And we're not going to deny any of that. In fact, every once in a while we'll put in some of those types of products. I have a Ring doorbell at home, so it's definitely a convenient solution. Is it the best solution all the time? The answer to that is no. That is not always the best solution or gives you the best results. First and foremost, if you don't think things through, sometimes you realize that, well, one of the selling points of a lot of those systems are, well, it's wireless. And it's true. Some are completely wireless. They run on batteries. What they don't tell you is that every few days you got to bring it in and charge it. Are you going to be happy with that type of a solution is a question you need to ask yourself. Do I want to have to bring my camera in every couple days or once a week? I mean, if you're lucky, maybe once every couple of weeks, and charge it again and then go put it back up. It might not be so bad the first couple times you do it, but I'm going to guarantee, I see it now already in the marketplace where I was at a house the other day where it was obvious the Ring cameras, which are wireless, have not been brought inside in a very long time and were not functional. And it's that's a waste of money, and you're not getting what you need out of it. So what we can do is we can figure out what the right camera solution is. There are installed wired camera solutions that do a good job and can still have the convenience of being able to see it from your smartphone. We don't lose that. And you own it. So you're not paying a monthly fee or a yearly fee to somebody to be able to see your cameras or whatever footage there may be. Typically, a recorder is going to hold about 3 to 4 weeks worth of footage, which is more than enough time to figure out if something happened, if you want to go back. That can vary slightly depending on how many cameras, what kind of resolution, how big of a hard drive, but it's on average a few weeks to a month worth of footage on the recorder. Types of cameras is something we want to talk about. We actually have some show and tell today. There are multiple types of cameras out there. The most basic, which, and this is just one example, is what we call a bullet style camera. So this would mount on some kind of a bracket on the wall or hanging from the ceiling. And it's just a single fixed shot. You can't change it. They do make bullets that are adjustable when you install them, but once they're installed, they're installed. The upside is they can be low profile. They can be a little smaller than this. They can be a little bigger than this. They may or may not have IR illumination, which means you may or may not be able to see in the dark. And there's different resolutions that are available. But the format is what we call a bullet style camera. It's just sort of a cylinder. And one of the upsides is you can tuck these in some pretty small places, so you can kind of keep them out of sight, out of mind, not taking, especially if you're doing some inside cameras, you don't want to necessarily see them. That's probably the most popular style. And again, these can be smaller, these can be quite a bit bigger. A bullet style with an adjustable lens. They do have some with motorized lenses, but with adjustable lens and IR illumination could be 2 to 3 times this size. May not be a problem if you're putting it outside. You wouldn't even notice what the size difference is. But they can be small format too. So that's a bullet camera. My favorite, before we're going to do a walk and talk shot, this is what they call a turret style camera. And you can see that this camera can be adjusted. It can spin in place, so you can totally adjust it, and it can also tip on the bracket, which means it kind of gives you infinite positions to see that. You can mount it on a wall. You can mount it from the ceiling, under a soffit or an eave. There's a trim ring that would go on this, and the wire obviously gets concealed. Or it may mount on a box outside. The reason why this is one of my favorites is because you'll see here that we have a camera and we have an IR. This is the IR illuminator, so I have night vision capability out of this. It can light up the area with an infrared light, and the camera can pick that up. The reason why I like this, as opposed to the next style we'll look at, which is called a dome, is the camera doesn't have another layer to look through. Like a dome camera, you'll see in a minute, has a plastic dome over it. Sometimes that dome can have reflections and anomalies in the video image that you just can't get rid of, depending on the angle you're trying to catch. So a turret style camera is probably one of the most flexible and yields the best kind of results. And it's still not a bad looking package. When they're tucked up, it's not a bad look from the ceiling or anything. Generally, cameras are available. I'm sorry, I'm moving too fast for you, Steve. In black or white. So you can have a choice. I would say 95% of the ones we put up are white. So it's not, it's a pretty common color. You can get them in a lot of different resolutions. We're going to take some time and talk about that in a minute, but I wanted to get through the styles first. So that's your second basic style, a turret. Now we're going to go for a trip. We're going to walk over here in the Little Guys Livecast Studios and see we have mounted up on our ceiling. That's a dome style. So you can see there's a plastic housing over the whole camera. That one's actually in black. Around the camera are the IR illuminators, so you can get that. And again, pretty clean look. If depending on lighting conditions, or if it goes into a black and white mode, you might get some reflections off the dome in the image with the dome on there. But upside to the dome is it does have extra layer protection, so that might be something that's desired. That's probably the second most common. Bullets being the most common, domes the second most common. Turrets you don't see so much, but more of the camera manufacturers are starting to bring those in to have as a third choice, and just because of the performance advantage of having that. So, three basic styles of cameras. Again, they can be bigger and smaller depending on the actual use. They have a mini dome. I don't have one of those to show you. It's a little smaller than that. More used inside because they're not going to be infrared illuminated, so generally for an inside shot only is what you would have used for that. Now we're going to talk about resolution of these cameras. They can be, and we'll talk about pricing in a minute, and why all cameras are not equal. Now in today's day and age, we can have the 4 megapixel cameras are becoming more common. Some of the manufacturers are branding them as 4K. Certainly a lot of detail in the image there, and we have to determine what we need to have in the shot. Typically though, when you're streaming, you're never going to stream at the full resolution of the camera. That's only going to be recorded. The stream is probably going to be less than full resolution just because of the bandwidth it takes up. You want to be able to see a continuous shot without the internet glitching or hiccuping too much. That's more frustrating than having the top most resolution. The entry-level cameras are 720p. 1080p is probably the average camera, and then we go up to the 4K style cameras or 4 megapixel cameras. And there's 5 and 6 megapixel cameras out there. And the recorders need to match, so you need to have a recorder that can record in the resolution of the camera. There's a few different choices out there. We use 2 or 3 different vendors on this because some work better with control systems and some are more user-friendly. If you're not using a control system, some have the right camera for a particular situation. So we work with you to figure out what the best solution is. Recorders come in flavors that are pretty easy to figure out. They come in a 4-channel, an 8-channel, and a 16-channel. Beyond 16-channel, you typically go into a custom solution. We rarely see any needs for beyond a 16-channel or residential, especially solution. Obviously, a commercial solution could go beyond that. Yes, you can go beyond that. But let's just talk about the all-in-one boxes for this time. So 4, 8, 16. So sometimes that'll help us figure out how many cameras we're going to have in the job. Maybe we located 7 locations we know we want to have camera shots, but we know it's an 8-position recorder. We figure out a place for an 8 camera, so you have the extra spot. Why not get that put in there? Then there's the expectations of what we want to be able to see. There's a lot of camera systems out there, and we actually get this call quite often that people already have a camera system, and they say, listen, we have a camera system, and we had an incident, and we just can't see enough detail on the camera system to know what happened. We can't identify a face, we can't identify a license plate. It's a pretty common thing that we hear. The truth is, to get those types of details, you have to make sure you put in the right cameras and the right recording system and have the right setup done properly. The technology exists. You can get pretty scary details even in full darkness. We have a camera line that can actually see full color at night. So those technologies exist, but they are not going to be a couple $100 in and out the door. So one of the worst things for our industry as far as camera goes is you go to the big box warehouse club, and they've got the 8 camera or 16 camera set with a recorder for $199. I assure you that yes, you'll have pictures and you'll see something, but the detail you get on that is not going to be necessarily what you want or need, and you're going to find that out after it's too late. So you want to keep those things in mind. All cameras are not created equal. The budget will go up if you want to get more detail and catch things like full darkness with full color, or if you want to see license plates moving through on the fly, things of that nature. Little guys can help you with all those solutions though. We have the expertise. We've been doing cameras since the beginning. So we're going on close to 24, 25 years now of us doing cameras as a collective. And we can definitely give you the right experience. And again, the last few years have been a resurgence of camera desires because of the fact that some of these other products have hit the market. And there's nothing wrong with those products as far as what their purpose is, but you have to understand what the purpose and intent is and make sure it's what you want them to do for your system. So if this is something you've been thinking about, or maybe something you already have some of and you're not happy with it, give us a call, let us know. We can certainly come out and take a look and help you with that. If you have cameras already, but they're older style and you need to upgrade them, sometimes we can upgrade the cameras without having to pull new wires. That happens. Sometimes we do have to pull new wires to get to see what kind of wiring is in place, but there's a lot of times we can use the existing wires. There's a couple solutions out there for that. So don't worry about that if maybe they were wired when you first built the house or did the business and you want to have something new. We can certainly help you with that. So cameras, the little guys can help you with. Live stream systems, corporate AV, corporate boardrooms, training rooms. We're running out of time. I wanted to talk about acoustics, but we're going to talk about acoustics on a different show because we have a couple of different acoustics vendors we do. This is another topic where I think it could use more of a show, and we might do this one on location because we can help you with problems that maybe you don't realize you have. If your house has got a big great room that you love the look of, but you can't stand to be in there because it's so loud and reverberant and echoes all the time, especially if you're maybe trying to watch TV in there, we can help you with that, and the solutions can be pretty cool. So we'll put that off for another episode. Look for that in the future and roll that into a whole other. There's a wide berth of stuff that we do here at the Little Guys, and we want to make sure you know that. So you can find us, come see us, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We're at 9700 197th Street in Mokina. Really easy to get here. You take LaGrange Road to 197th. So if you get off of 80 on LaGrange, go south to 197th, take a right, go west, and we're like a half a block down on your right. You can't miss us. Big Little Guy sign over the door. You can also email us, info@littleguys.com. You can call us, 708-754-8844. And send us a message on Facebook where you're watching now. Any way is fine. We're going to get your message. We'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. I appreciate you watching. Next week, David will be back, and he will have all the exciting news and developments out of his conference he's at this week. Any questions in the meantime, give us a call. Thanks.